I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened.
Isaiah 11. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf, and the young lion, and the fatling together. And the little child shall lead them, and the cow and the bear shall feed. Their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox, and the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful that got there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith. Thank you, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into this morning, all right, dealing with the morning news and prophecy, all right, is major psyops, all right, propaganda and enchantments. I had something else, lined up for this morning, dealing with the small hats in Qatar. All right. And what did that mean? Going into, this third world's war. All right. But other events, transpired last night, and the headline, all right, in the news is the assassination of this guy, all right, Charlie Kirk. All right. We're going to get into it. Now, this is not, to a discussion, to see whether it really happened, because we know that the devil, he's known for staging events. And one thing we know, all right, we don't know, for sure, if he's, really been assassinated, if this was just completely scripted or this was authentic. But what we do know, all right, that these devils, all right, they use these events, okay, for major psyops propaganda and enchantments. And we're going to get into these things. All right. And we're in some very sensitive times. All right. And this is a time to be on point in the spirit. All right. And know how to move in the shadows and be out the way, because these people are getting ready to lose it. All right. We know that these devils are pushing people, all right, to a tipping point. Okay. And they want major division. Okay. In America, man. All right. So what we're seeing happening with all these different events, school shootings, are ramping up. Okay. First month of school, school ain't been in the month. All right. And you already have multiple, all right, school shootings. Okay. And then you have, all right, this devil. Okay. All of Venezuela, small hats are bombing in Qatar. Okay. You have the Chinese military parade. So prophecy is revved up, man. We in the time, all right, that the Lord is stirring the pot of prophecy. Okay. And these devils in their attempt, okay, to forward, all right, their new world order. Okay. They want to do it with the masses under mass confusion and division. Okay. So let's go here to Ephesians 6 and 12. All right. And then we're going to I got a lot of videos, mainly shorts, but just to show and paint the picture of what these devils are doing. Okay. You got, the Department of Defense has been changed to the Department of War. Okay. There's been, a build up to federal agents going into Chicago, and it's just a lot. Okay. And we know one thing, that these devils, they operate in left hand magic. Okay. This is no random events that just happening. And they all into the numerology and, into the astrology. Okay. And all these things, man. So you go to Ephesians 6 and 12, it said, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, man. So let's get a few words, okay? Because we know the things that are seen on the TV are orchestrated by witches and warlocks from on high, okay? So we have to understand this is a spiritual warfare, and we at the peak of it. And see, as men, all right, that have been predestined to teach this word, we on the front line. This is why we must stay sharp. We have to show restraint, discipline. Okay, we have to be tapped in to the spirit, to the body. Okay, now you go to this word. Okay, the rulers. Okay, because these government officials are nothing but puppets. All right, to the true rulers of the earth, which operate in heavy witchcraft, all right, and Satanism. So you go into this word.
Strong's G 2888, Kosmokrator. Kosmokrator.
All right. So you go down, and what does it say? It says, Lord of the world, Prince of this age. Okay. So these puppets that we see on TV, these politicians that they have people voting for, okay, they're not the lords of the world. They're not the princes of this age. Okay, they're puppets set up by the lords of this world and the princes of this age. Okay, and their main thing, okay, is to enchant. Okay, to enchant the masses, and we're gonna, go into these things. Okay, it says the devil and his demons. You see, because these people, all right, rule in the energy of Satan, who's coming is what after the working of Satan. Okay, so they push a lot of demonic energy into the masses, man. All right, and they do it via way of these characters that they set before you to enchant you, man. Okay, now let's go here, because I asked chat, dealing with, okay, what's, a psyops, okay, and what's propaganda, okay, and all these things are linked, a psyops, propaganda, and enchantments. All these things are linked. Okay. So I asked the chat, it said, what is propaganda, psyops, and enchantment? It said, great question. These are all related but distinct concepts that involve influence, perception, and behavior. Here's a breakdown. Propaganda is information often biased, misleading, or emotionally charged. And there's a lot of emotions going around, all right, dealing with the assassination of this guy, Charlie Kirk. There's a lot of emotions, and they on opposite sides of the spectrum. Okay, as we're going to show you. It says spread with the deliberate intention of influencing public opinion or behavior in favor of a particular cause, ideology, or agenda. And we know the agenda of the elites is to have people divided. They want people to purge each other out. They want civil unrest. Okay, they create the problem. Okay, and then what do? They publish. Okay, the reaction. The people reacting to their problem, they publish it through the media, okay? And then it justifies the solution that they wanted before they caused the problem, okay? And they use propaganda as a tool, all right, to control the behavior and the emotions of the masses, man, which is, all right, witchcraft and enchantment. It said key features of propaganda: selective use of facts, images, or emotions, often one-sided or manipulative, used by governments, political groups, corporations, or movements, can be overt, which is mean openly, or subtle, disguised as neutral information. Okay, and the scriptures say that what this devil was more subtle than any beast of the field. Okay, now it says, what is a psyop, which is psychological operation? A psyop is a military or intelligence strategy designed to manipulate the emotions, reasoning, and behavior of individual groups or governments, often without them realize they're being manipulated, man. Okay, because the attention of these two ideologies of left and right have never been this intense before. Okay, here it is. You got people getting divorces based on who they voted for. Okay, families being broken up and disassociating themselves based off who you voted for. It was never this intense coming up, man. Election day was just another day. You went and voted, and people really didn't even give a damn who you voted for. All right, it wasn't even a conversation like that. But now, all right, who you are is related to who you vote for, what ideology you link yourself to. Okay, why? Because of all these psyops of mass manipulation that's been going on. The media is nothing but another branch of Esau's military, man. His psychological warfare. Okay, it says used by military intelligence agencies, covert operation, goal, undermine morale, sow confusion, create division, or guide specific actions like surrender or protest. Okay, tools, disinformation, fake news, social media, manipulation, control, opposition, staged events. Okay, it says propaganda is often part of a psyop, but not all propaganda is a psyop. Okay, so we have to understand that these events that they allow us to see, okay, on these news and you know, Trump, you know, so-called, assassination attempt. Okay, this Charlie Kirk guy. Okay, the school shootings, and then they find the weapon. Then the weapon got anti-Trump, rhetoric on the weapon. Okay, and these devils are doing this because they have an agenda. Okay, and they want to justify draconian laws, and people are going to be begging for draconian measures from the government, man. Okay, to get things in order. You see, in chaos, people look for a strong leader, and the elites have given Trump, okay, have propped him up as this strong leader. Okay, people wouldn't mind the dictator right about now. Okay, and so you go into what is an enchantment. It says in this context, enchantment is a broader, more philosophical or psychological concept. It refers to the state of being captivated, fascinated, or mentally influenced by something. Isn't MAGA something that has captivated the masses, fascinated the masses? Okay. It says often through stories, symbolism, rituals, aesthetics, or belief systems. Not always manipulative, can be positive or spiritual. It says used in mythology, advertising, religion, branding, art. all right, create a sense of meaning, wonder, identity, or loyalty, man. Okay, so you have people that identify with the left or right, and they have a loyalty to it, and it gives them a sense of meaning. Okay, and now we're seeing, all right, these things reach, all right, a tipping point. I said, example, a charismatic leader or brand that inspires deep emotional attachment or belief. And Donald Trump, one way or the other, whether you hate him or like him, it's a deep emotional attachment, okay, that's associated with his character, man. All right, so whether you hate him or love him, it's a deep hatred or it's a deep love, okay, and it's causing the division. And now, all right, they're causing these events to happen to stir up the emotions, okay, of the masses, and ultimately it's gonna stir up civil unrest, man. You know, these two ideologies are reaching a point. Well, it's gonna get to a point to where it's gonna be on sight between the left and the right. You know, it's gonna get to the point to where things are gonna get to its own sight. Okay, so let's go from there. Now, first, let's just deal with, you know, the elephant in the room, the Charlie Kirk, and we're gonna go into the character of this guy and other men like him, because through this guy Charlie Kirk, okay, which he was going around debating, okay, and a lot of his talking points, you know, which he makes sense, you know, because he goes against, you know, the alphabet community. You know, he's conservative, you know, but he also pushes, you know, the scientific racism. You know, he was a symbol of Edomite male supremacy. Okay, well, you know, he had conservative views, you know, of family and, you know, different things. But you know, when you go into this guy and what he's about, okay, it's heavy ideology. Okay, and you know, he was pissing, you know, the left off. Okay, and the left are even celebrating. Okay, we're going to show you that, but let's just go to a quick summary of what's going on. I'm pretty sure most of you have seen and heard. All right, but let's just go into a quick summary, then we'll, you know, dissect, all right, the enchantments of it all. Okay.
Close ally of President Trump, Charlie Kirk, shot and killed by a sniper while speaking at a college in Utah. The 31-year-old was traveling the country, inviting people with differing views to ask him questions, to disagree with him. It was during one of those events today he was shot in the neck.
Go, run. It's chaos as shots ring out on the campus of Utah Valley University. Students flee after conservative activist Charlie Kirk is targeted by an assassin. Kirk was addressing a gathering of students when he was shot in the neck. At the time, he was actually talking about gun violence.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
2 seconds later, all the broadcast networks broke into regular programming.
They're coming on air with breaking news right now.
Conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who appears to have been shot in the neck.
Brock Bales is a student at the university.
There's a ton of people crying, screaming. It was just chaotic.
Former Utah Congressman and Fox News personality Jason Chaffetz was also there.
I happened to be watching Charlie. I can't say I saw blood. I can't say I saw him get shot, but as soon as that shot went out, he fell back.
Megyn Kelly broke down in tears.
I don't know how he is. I don't know if he's okay. I don't know what the state of his injuries are.
An active shooter at the Charlie Kirk event is on top of the building wearing jeans, black shirt, black vest.
How dare you! Cops were seen detaining a man, his hands cuffed, his pants around his ankles. But according to a university spokesman, he's not the gunman.
This is Les Trent in D.C. Moments after Charlie Kirk was shot today, President Trump cleared his schedule. His top administration officials gathered in the Situation Room to monitor events. Trump posting, "We must pray for Charlie Kirk, a great guy from top to bottom."
Then at 4:40 p.m., he posted the terrible news. The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
So who was Charlie Kirk? He was one of the most outspoken conservative voices in the country, and he also never shied away from controversy.
Charlie Kirk has been a staunch Trump supporter since the president's 2016 campaign. And here he is speaking at the GOP convention last year that nominated Trump. He also spoke at the presidential inauguration. Kirk has been called the Trump whisperer because of his closeness to the president and the administration. Here he is on stage with Donald Trump Jr. at the Turning Point Convention, the organization he founded to promote conservative values on college campuses. He has millions of followers on social media and crisscrosses the country speaking at high school and college events. He has a reputation for getting crowds worked up, and he doesn't back down if you disagree with him. He and his wife, Erica, have 2 children, a boy and a girl.
So that's what happened yesterday, and then the timing of it, right before September 11th. So it's gonna be a lot of mixed emotions, dealing with this. All right, and you best believe, okay, these devils are going to spin it, for their agenda. Okay. Now let's go here. This is the reaction of the left. All right, all the weirdos, the alphabet, the trans, the pro-abortion. Okay, so this is their reaction, off TikTok. Okay.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Charlie Kirk just got shot.
Well, breaking fucking news, folks. Seems somebody just took a shot at one of the Fantafast's favorite 5-mile wide mouthpieces, Charles Chucklefuck Kirk.
I'm not saying she deserved it, but I'm saying God's timing is always right.
And goodness knows the wicked's lives are lonely.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never say.
So you're going to see, great division. You already have 29,000 comments. All right, on this short alone, and like I said, man, the tension is just going to constantly rise. All right, with this situation, because this is going to be used as Psyops, okay, propaganda and enchantment, okay, and that's all we're going to hear about on the media, okay, for the next few weeks, okay. Now, I want to just to get into this guy and what he was about, some of his talking points. Let's see. I'm trying to get. I had it pulled up with the different shorts. Let's see if I can find them shorts I had pulled up. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, so let's go into it. Okay. We're gonna go to the guy Matt Walsh too, because he's similar to Charlie Kirk. So this is what this guy was on, So let's just play a few of his shorts to kind of get a feel for the guy, and you can see the direction that Esau Edom is going to take this.
You're a teacher. Yes. What is a woman?
Woman is a social construct that we've agreed upon.
So I want to thank you for proving a great point.
What?
You are why we should eliminate the Department of Education. Thank you very much.
Are you married?
Yes, with 2 beautiful children.
Wow, good for you.
I could tell you're not married.
Yeah.
You're so scared to debate me.
Actually, I'm not scared.
Then debate me anytime.
Honestly, I'm good. I just debated the governor of this state. I don't need to debate you, Parker, okay?
You keep interrupting me. Every time I actually try to actually explain my point and have a reasonable conversation with you, you cut me off.
You're an English major.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you another chance.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Jane Austen novel?
Harry Potter.
My shirt, everybody. My shirt says Charlie Kirk. Clearly, you're offended.
Actually, I'm not. I find it hilarious. In fact, I'm so important that you have to make a shirt with my name on
offended.
it. It's FBI statistics. It's well known.
FBI statistics. Where can you show me that at? 70% of offenders were African American.
I know you're obviously very anti-trans.
No, I'm pro reality. You're a teacher. Yes. What is?
So he was very, controversial. You go into, like I say, his debates on college campus. He was very controversial, man. And he was cutting up, a lot of those weirdos, those leftists, okay, the trans community, say pro-abortion, okay. And he was one of those guys that pushed, also Edomite male supremacy. Okay. So just go into a few talking points and see, this is the ideology that's finna stir up emotion, because a lot of Edomites feel like this devil feels. Okay. And like I say, they have talking points that make sense. Okay. Because the left is freaked out, weirdo. Okay. So the right has talking points that make sense. You see? But the thing that they push overall is Edomite male supremacy and scientific racism. Okay, which says that Jake, okay, is inherently, a criminal. You see, and incapable, okay, of handling freedom. So let's just play a few more things.
I just wanted to ask you, what do you say to those that are against homeschooling?
Well, they can apply for a job from you in 10 years from now. So
there's another one. Let me see. That's not the one. Let's go back. Well, you got Jake, there's pro-Trump. We're gonna play that guy too. Okay. But like I said, this guy is similar to Matt Walsh, which we're gonna get Matt Walsh.
Even though America's Constitution explicitly forbids racial discrimination, our government ordered people to do it anyway. People were denied jobs and denied promotions. Kids were shut out of universities based on the color of their skin rather than their ability. Companies were denied federal contracts because their owners didn't look a certain way. People who didn't discriminate enough in hiring could be sued by the government. Every company in America lived in fear of their government deciding to target them for offenses against DEI. Trump has ordered DEI to be torn down, but I want him to tear it down faster. I want every university told that they're losing all federal dollars immediately if they don't stop racial discrimination. I want the Department of Justice to start auditing every federal contractor to find DEI and shut off contracts immediately wherever we find it. This is a kind of cancer that cannot be phased out. It must be ripped out from the core. Even though America's Constitution...
And he's talking about, the DEI, which supposedly gave Jake, opportunity, okay, the ubiquitous, community opportunity, which they done link Jake, all right, and the ubiquitous together, okay. But this is channel, you can go and get a feel for the guy, okay, Charlie Kirk, probably watch a few shorts and kind of get, some snippets of his debates and, a feel for the guy and what he was about, okay. He was a hard, all right, MAGA supporter, okay, a hard conservative, okay, and he also believes in scientific racism, okay, and it reminds me of this guy here, and I'm wondering, what's going to be next.
Even though America's Constitution explicitly...
I wonder what's going to be next with this guy, Matt Walsh, all right, which he's all right, and he's more outright, okay, scientific racist, okay, because you go into here, he's hard on so let's play this. Let me see.
The city of Austin is doing a big rebrand. They're getting rid of the old logo because it's not a brand. And the old logo is...
No, this is not the one. Yeah, so like you just got these shorts, so trying to get 2 or 3 of Matt Walsh, because this double, all right, he had the documentary What Is a Woman, okay, which he pissed a lot of the alphabet community off, and he's hard on on Jake, the nigga woman getting the food stamps. So let's play this.
Statistically, a white person is 30 times more likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. We know that. That's just true. In 2019, there were about 560,000 violent interracial incidents between blacks and whites. 470,000 of them were black on white. That's 85%. 85%. 240 black people were killed by whites. 560 white people were killed by blacks. And this is all in spite of the fact that white people make up 60% of the population. Blacks are 13%. Just by raw numbers, not even per capita, but raw numbers, there are more black interracial killers than white. That should be impossible. There are 171 million more white people in the country, and yet there are more black interracial killers. By raw numbers, the young black males in particular are an order of magnitude more violent and more likely to commit crimes than any other group in the country. Black men are 5 or 6% of the population. They commit the majority of murders in the country. That makes black males in America more dangerous than perhaps any other demographic in the entire world, let alone in this country. Statistically, a white person.
So young Jake, the most dangerous thing in the world. Okay, not the nation that's been at war. All right, 93% of its existence. Okay, and this is the talking points that they're pushing. Okay, and they're just putting numbers out their ass, man. Okay. So this Matt Walsh character is similar to this guy Charlie Kirk. So I'm wondering if they're gonna push him to the front, and make him the voice of scientific racism. Okay. And it's gonna be, I'm just, we're just going through things. It's a lot, to go through. Like I said, I had something else I was gonna go into, but this happened, and it was like, okay, like, yeah, this devil, okay, is creeping on the come up. Okay, so let's play about 2 more of his clips.
The city of Austin is doing a big rebrand. They're getting rid of the old,
because he had another one. They believe that, you all right, Eve, okay. And see, this is what they want to push as the logo of Jake. Okay, the young nigga, and all right.
We should not be subsidizing obesity.
Welch Juices got 2 cases of these. A box of Sam Green chips. They got these chips. Cinnamon Toe Crunch. Ballpark hot dogs. Some teriyaki noodles. Some kind of different. A pack of ground beef. Packets on the sticks. Seasoning salt. Pickles. Powdered donuts.
I mean, I got hypertension just from watching. I died of a heart attack, came back to life, and then got diabetes and died again, then came back to life again, all while we were watching it. Nothing but processed junk food. Nothing, no real food. This goes on for 4 or 5 minutes. This woman is showing off all the stuff she bought. She bought a truckload of stuff with EBT, and none of it is food. We should not be subsidizing obesity.
Welch juice.
So, and this the picture, that they want to push of Jake, the young, degenerate nigga, okay, or the welfare case, okay, of the obese Eve. Even that statue they had in New York, was the obese nigga woman, with an attitude. Okay. So this is the image they want to portray because they want to justify, all right, Jake being the problem of society, whether they're sucking up the resources or they're serial killers. Okay. So this is the narrative that they're pushing. This is right before, they gearing up to go to Chicago. Okay, you have this shooting. All right. This is right before. All right. And also you have this. Okay. Let's pull this up. All right, because you got Jake, that's on the Trump train. Okay. Well, let's get this let's get this. Because you had the incident where Jake, supposedly killed, the Edomite woman, all right, on the train. So let's play this, all right, and you can see, this is before Charlie Kirk died when this came out. So they're speaking of his stance on this incident of Jake, killing, this Edomite on the train. Okay. So let's play this.
All right, let's get to the media bashing MAGA for politicizing the stabbing.
And you are mentally ill. You have a hard time knowing that you are mentally ill. But also, I mean, people like Charlie Kirk, Van, they've been looking for opportunities to make this some sort of like reciprocal George Floyd situation.
And for Charlie Kirk to say, we know he did it because she's white, when there's no evidence of that, it's just pure race mongering, hate mongering. It's wrong.
You dummies. This happened weeks ago. Nobody covered it. Nobody said anything. There was no FOIA request. There was no demand for justice. There was none of that. What are y'all talking about? So the video has been released of the actual stabbing of the young lady on the train, uncensored. We have that video, but we have blurred out the video because out of just the sheer respect for the violence that happened to this young lady. But I think people did not see what actually happened because it freezes like this. So we have the video. Viewer discretion is advised. If you got a weak stomach or you don't want to see the video, then just skip past this point. We'll create a chapter so you can just skip the video if you don't want to see it. But if you want to see it, we'll show it to you. The reason that I want to show it to you is because I want you to see the totality of what happened. I want you to see what happened to the young lady, how quick it happened, and the subsequent actions after it happened, meaning that nobody even looked in her direction to help her. And there's reasons why. Let's keep it real. Do you want to be like Daniel Penny? And I think it happened so fast, as you'll see in the video, that I don't think people knew she got stabbed. I think people just thought he hit her a couple times and walked away. So without further ado, roll the clip.
Where's the blood? Where's the blood? And why is she just sitting in one spot? Now, shouldn't her adrenaline be up when you try to get away? All right. So here is the man that stabbed us right here. Okay. And you're not trying to get away. You see? So it's a lot of, and we know that this devil, okay, he's in the mix. All right. So you look at this event, just things that stood out to me is like, okay, where's the blood? All right. And her adrenaline hasn't picked in. Okay. And she's just reacting like her boyfriend just broke up with her, a hand over her mouth. She's not crying for help. She's not reaching for a phone. Okay. No survival instincts kick in. Okay. Let's let it play again, because she's on the phone. All right. So no,
So as you can see, nobody even helped her. The guy just did this for no reason. But
You know, he's a coon nigga, you know, Officer Tatum. You know, but I'm looking at him like, this is, you know, it's like a Tubi movie, you know, terrible acting. You know, that's my take on it. All right. But now it's some more information came out. You see, some more information came out. All right, the elder brother, but Yum, all right, he posted a photo on the chat dealing with this guy. So the guy on the right or on the left is the one that's supposed to did the stabbing. All right, but he has a brother. Okay, they say he has a half brother. So it says, Irina, all right, Zaruska's killer, all right, has a half brother named Stacy DeJean Brown, all right, who shot and killed a white 65-year-old man in the face while he was walking. Okay, so he shot and killed a man, shot him in the face, home from work in 2012. He is then used, all right, he then used the Charlotte light rail system to flee the scene. Okay, so now he has a half brother that in 2012 he supposedly shot, all right, Edomite, 65-year-old Edomite man in the face while he was walking home from work. Okay, and they're making Jake the face of violence. Okay, all right, and we're going to see, you know, and it's not going to be a coincidence that a lot of these camps, all right, allow their members to have dreads. Okay, still have their street bravado. Okay, we have to understand the accuser of our brethren is working. He's got a lot of enchantments happening at the same time. He has an enchantment gumbo out there, man. Okay, you see, all these incidents are not, all right, isolated. Okay, and then when they go into Chicago, it's gonna be interesting, man. You know, you have to put that in the mix. You see, so oh yeah, so let's go here to this video, which I haven't even watched it yet. You know, dealing with redacted and you know, this guy, in which we know, you know, channels like redacted, you know, they control opposition. You know, they control opposition as well. You know, they're push as if they're against, you know, certain things. And, you know, they're for the people, but they're nothing but control opposition. Okay, that's why they're allowed to say and do things that, you know, will get a strike if anyone else say it, you know, but they can say it freely. Okay, so they do have points, you know, they make talking points because, you know, they're allowed to speak certain truths for the sake of credibility, but ultimately, you know, they always route you back to, all right, the confusion, okay, of the machine. All right, so let's go here, see what he has to say. We'll play a few minutes of it. I haven't even watched it yet. So, you know, we'll be watching it, see what he say to say anything.
And I don't say that lightly. I think what happened to, I think we're at a tipping point moment for this country. And I don't say that lightly. I think what happened today in the assassination of Charlie Kirk is a tipping point moment. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. But I just wanted to come in and say a few words. I've just been thinking about this nonstop since it happened this afternoon. We were, of course, live during our show this afternoon when we knew what happened, but then watching and waiting and hoping and praying that he would make it, and then getting information from the hospital letting us know live on the air that he didn't make it. It's absolutely devastating. I'm absolutely heartbroken. Number one, for his little boy, 1-year-old little boy, 3-year-old little girl who are now fatherless, for his wife, first and foremost. And then I am absolutely gutted for our country. I'm devastated about what this means for the future of our country. This does not end well.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
And when you have all of this rhetoric of violence from people across social media calling for attacks on people like Charlie, we knew it was going to come to this. We knew it was inevitable, sadly. The assassination attempt on President Trump, attacks on other fellow conservative commentators, swatting across the board, showing up at people's homes with SWAT teams, trying to get people killed, hoping that someone will have a gun in their hand so a SWAT team can kill a person. This was going to happen. But I have a lot of unanswered questions about today. And I just want to kind of go through them. Watching the video so many times, getting analysis from friends and law enforcement and sources that were there at the event. How did this happen? How did a shooter who was on the roof and seen by many students, pointed out by many students, allowed to lay prone at 200 yards in a perfectly prone position in order to fire on Charlie?
Get right up.
Yeah. You think he'd already be in place?
You would think that. So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying. He just ran from over, where's my finger? Well, from over there, ran in. And now he's right there. Just saying.
To fire a perfectly timed shot right as he's speaking.
So all this, this Palantir, so they're able to blow up, the cell phones of all the Hezbollah leadership. Okay, they're able to kill, certain, Iranian, nuclear scientists at a banquet. Okay, they're able to you have this software system with Palantir called Daddy's Home. They know when, these certain, men of Hamas and, Iran, they know when they enter their door. Okay. So here it is. They have all this technology, and they can just pinpoint all the leadership of, these foreign nations. But here at home in America, things are just wide open. And that's another, angle that these devils are going to use, that they need more AI surveillance to prevent things like this. Okay. So, whether or not, things are staged, okay, it really happened. Well, the thing is to look at the objective, whether they're going to push for after the event. Okay, because there was the play before the event. Remember, the solution, okay, is already in motion before the problem. Okay, the problem just justifies the solution that they want to bring anyway. Okay, so now what they push for is what they wanted before all these events happened. Okay, so best believe they're going to push for more AI surveillance. Okay, they're going to continue to push, the scientific racism of Jake being the face of violence. Okay, when there's nobody nowhere near as violent as the Edomite male. Okay, so we're going to continue to see these things. Like I said, you can watch the rest of this. It's about 15 minutes. I'm just wondering, curious what he say. But yeah, and that's what they want. They want things to go to a tipping point. They want things to be more divided. All right, and I'm gonna get this here, for our sake. Okay, because as you go into the scriptures, the book of Ephesians, chapter 5. Okay, Ephesians 5 and 15, and it says, I started at 14. All right, it says, wherefore he said, for wait thou that sleepest. Okay, that this is the worst time ever to still be in the stupor, to still be arguing about conservative or leftist, okay, Republican, Democrat. All right, being a Christian, you got people that want to take up for young niggas and, the black community. Okay, you're asleep. Okay, if you still have a stance one of these, ideologies where you're asleep. Okay? It says, in the rise from the dead, and Yahweh Shah Hamashiach shall give thee light, man. And see, we're going to really value the light more and more. We should value the light more and more as we see people operating in complete darkness, man. Okay? There's going to be people that's going to get caught up, okay, in this madness, in this back and forth, okay, and put themselves in harm's way. See, this is why when you read Ephesians 5:15, it says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. This is the time to really apply wisdom. Be strategic with wisdom, man. Be strategic how you move. Okay, because there's a lot of emotions that's being stirred up. Because circumspect, all right, going to a circle or around. Inspect means to inspect. Okay, so we have to inspect around us, man, and move strategically, man. It's not the time not to be tapped in to what's going on. All right, the spirit is heavy, all right, on brothers to go into news and privacy tough. There's been an uptick, okay, on going into what's going on, because there's a lot going on, and every brother, one brother can't cover everything, but that's why you have a body. Okay, so we have, the tools needed to be circumspect. Okay, I say there's a lot of emotion that's being wrapped up, man. So we have to be mindful how we move. All right, in these spaces, man. Okay, you got blue states, red states, certain towns. You got to understand, okay, what's going on around you. Okay, it says redeeming, all right, the time, because the days are evil. Okay, so we're coming to a time where these devils are pushing, major division. All right, and this ain't the time to be arguing with your coworker. Okay, even arguing with your family about certain points. The best way is to play neutral, play dumb. Okay, the best way is to know everything. All right, but know nothing. Okay, we understand what's going on, but to these people, hey, we're neutral. We're green. Okay, let these people have their arguments and their points. Okay, let them have it, because there's a lot of emotions being stirred up, man. A lot of enchantments, okay, pushed by these psyops and propaganda. Okay, and we know what it is. All right, and we're not here to prove anything to these people. Let them have it. Hey, learn how to let people rant. All right, and then remove yourself from the situation. He stay neutral in these things, because these people are to the point to where it's going to be on site between the left and the right, man. And it's going to get, violent. All right, it's civil unrest. So that's the point. Just wanted to go into that, try to cover a few things, or will. You brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. You want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles, all right, and the elders of GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful Shalom.